Gym Candy, Part 2, Chapter 7. I ended up practicing hard every single day, just like my dad wanted, but I wasn't doing it because I thought I had a chance to start. I was doing it because I didn't know how else to play. If the ball was in my hands, I was going to take it as far upfield as I could, and it didn't matter that it was only practice. Football was in my blood. During the games, I was on the field only for kickoffs, punts, and extra points. But on those few downs, I played like a crazy man, flying down the field, breaking through blockers, and laying big hits on guys on the other team. In the opener, I blocked a field goal. And in the next 3 games, I forced 2 fumbles, both of which led to touchdowns. After those big plays, I automatically looked up into the stands towards the 50-yard line to where my dad always sat. But he skipped those games. If I wasn't going to carry the ball, he wasn't going to show up. So school year starts. It is Mick's freshman year. He is working so hard, even though he knows he's not going to be the number 1 running back. But despite that, when he is on the field, he does make some big plays. That's some important plays for his team. And of course, he wants someone in the stands to be proud of him. And his mom told him from an early age that she was never going to go to any of his football games because she worried too much. And he tells us here that his dad doesn't show up because he's not a starter. And to me, it's like, what are you telling your kid that by not showing up to their games? I think you should show up no matter what, right, to support your child. And clearly his dad could be seeing his kid make some important decisions on the field. But he doesn't show up because Mick's not a starter. After Monday practice halfway through the season, Downs asked me to stop by his office. "Don't worry," he said. "It's all good." Drew had overheard. "What's up?" he said. I shrugged. "No idea." I dressed quickly and then went to the coach's office and knocked. He looked through the glass window and waved me in. "Sit down," he said, pointing to the chair. He picked up a pencil and tapped it on his desk blotter. "I've noticed, Mick, from the first practice last spring to today, your hustle, your attitude. Fantastic. Like no other kid I've ever coached. Ever. I've never had a freshman as a captain, not in 10 years of coaching. But starting with our next game, there will be a C on your helmet and a C stitched on the right shoulder of your jersey." He stood and reached his hand across the desk. "Congratulations." My face reddened with pleasure. "Thanks, Coach," I said. "Thanks a lot." He smiled, his eyes alive. "It's not a gift. You earned it." Okay, so it's exciting. So even though his coach has not been starting him in the number 1 position, he has noticed all the hard work that Mick has put into the game, and so he has made him a captain. When I returned to the locker room, Drew came over. "So?" I couldn't hide the smile taking over my face. "Downs made me special teams captain." Drew didn't hold back. "Captain," he said, and then he pounded me a couple of times on the shoulder. "Good for you! Good for you!" He grabbed Deshaun free. "Mick's just been made captain." Deshaun high-fived me, and then Drew went and grabbed another guy, and another guy, and another guy. I told my mom when she came home from work. "Way to go," she said. "That is some honor." She paused. "Call your dad." I'll tell him when he comes home," I said. "You'll be asleep when he comes home. Call and tell him now." I dialed the station. "Your dad's on the air right now," a woman said, "but we break for a commercial in 2 minutes. Can you wait?" 2 minutes later, his voice was on the line. "What's up?" I took a deep breath. "Coach named me captain of the special teams. I'm the only freshman he's ever made captain, and he's been coaching for 10 years. I get a C on my helmet and the shoulder of my jersey." Hey, he said. "Next game I make the call on the coin toss, and if there's any argument about penalties or anything like that on the kickoff or punt, I'm the one who goes to the ref." "Wonderful." There was a pause. "How about playing time at running back? Now that you're captain, is that coach finally going to let you have some carries?" His words sucked everything good out of me. So look at this. He calls his dad, the person he wants to impress most in life, tells him he's a captain. No other freshman has ever been made captain under Coach Downs. And what is his dad's response? "Okay, but are you going to be like playing time at running back?" Okay, how is that going to make you feel? For Mick, right, it wipes everything good out. Now captain's not special anymore because his dad doesn't think it's good enough. You know how that works," I said. "Nothing's changed." "What do you mean nothing's changed? You're a captain now. Did you tell him you want to start?" "I don't want to tell him, Dad. He knows." "Mick, the C on the uniform and on the helmet, that's all nice. But you're not going to make a name for yourself calling heads or tails. He paused. Look, the commercial break is ending. I've got to get back to work. But go to your coach tomorrow. Tell him that if you're good enough to be captain, you're good enough to carry the ball. I swallowed. Dad, do it, Mick. You've got nothing to lose. For the rest of the night and the next day, I kept thinking about what my dad had said. Sometimes it seemed as if he were asking me to slit my own throat, but at other times I'd think he was right. If Downs could make me a captain, why couldn't he let me start? And what did I have to lose? If he said no, so what? After Tuesday's practice, I walked down the long hallway and knocked on Coach Downs' office door. He looked up, motioned me in, and then picked up my game jersey from his desktop. A big C was on the right shoulder. I was just going to send for you. Pretty cool, isn't it? It's great, I said, fingering it. Coach, I said. What? I was just wondering if maybe I could get some carries at running back. Not start, but maybe alternate. Stop right there, Mick. It's just that I said stop. He stared at me for what seemed like an hour. I decide who plays and who doesn't, just like I decide who is captain and who isn't. You got that? I nodded. Okay then. Now take your jersey and get out of here. So poor Mick, right, his dad pressures him into going to talk to his coach, and his coach shuts him down, right? He's like, no, I decide who plays, what position. Basically, you're lucky to be captain, but I can take this away from you if you're going to complain about not being a running back. So Mick's stuck between a hard place of, right, impressing his coach, but also trying to appease his dad and make his dad happy.